Jarrad, first half especially, the intensity was really high. What changed from last week to this week?
What changed? Look, we've shown that our best football is good enough. And what we're learning is in this competition, you've got to do it for longer. We've just played against a side, that I think they're in the top four, so they're a very good side. And we knew that we had to sort of raise the bar from our performance. And I've spoken about it before about getting better. And we reviewed last week's game strongly. There was a lot of accountability collectively to iron out what we want to get out of our game moving forward. And I think the biggest thing is we showed our supporters that when we do choose to sort of play the right way and honour the game the right way and chase that identity, that piece that we're looking for as a football club, we show that we can test any side. And to the players' credit, I couldn't be any prouder of how they were accountable at the start of the week, how they got to work, and they've just shown what they're capable of. So I couldn't be any prouder as an interim coach, any prouder, and as a coach. So yeah.
During the week, though, you sort of acknowledged that the Derby is not just another game. It's got a bit more emotion in it. It looks like you played with that emotion a little bit. You were quite intense, quite physical.
No, I think a Derby adds a little bit of a layer to it, but I think when you're honest to yourself as a footballer. And you know that maybe you've underperformed, and we know as a team we underperformed the week before. We want to make sure we get the opportunity to be better the following week, and that's what we did. And another layer to it, Derby. I think the challenge for us is we're playing against a side that is embarking on a finals campaign and trying to be top four. So why wouldn't you want to challenge yourself? And today we did it for a half at the level that's required, and then we took some learnings from the third quarter where we didn't get it right. Once again, I'm proud of the players, how they handled themselves, how they really stepped into the game and didn't take a backward step, even right to the end. When you're watching Jake Waterman chase down from our forward 50, game's done, but he's chasing down, knowing that he's not going to get to that player. That's the stuff that we're looking at. And that's why we're able to play the game the way we did tonight.
What's the value of that now, Jarrad, I guess, for the rest of the season, having the players understand what they're capable of in that first half?
It's been there all year. To be honest, it's been there all year. And I suppose, over the last few weeks is really give affirmation to what it looks like to be a really consistent side. And I suppose all we did at the start of this week was be really, really accountable to it. Because we've had a tough 2.5 years, and we've had a season here where we've showed really good football, and we've had games where we've underperformed, and no one's shying away from that. So they know what it looks like, and I think tonight really showed, and that's the challenge for us now. 6-day break, we roll into Gold Coast in front of our home crowd, and that's the challenge for us now.
So you make that the benchmark now. Can you make that first half specifically the benchmark of what you expect for them for the rest of the year?
As I say again, we've shown that type of footy this year. We've shown, and maybe the circumstances the last few weeks, all of a sudden we're putting a spotlight on it, but we've shown that all year when we played our best football. The disappointing thing is when we've dropped off. So the challenge for us to be better each week is to be consistent. And that is now the challenge, as we now reflect on this game, to be consistent for next week.
Harley Reid, it was in everything tonight.
Yeah.
What did you make of his game?
Loved it. For a 19-year-old to be getting booed, to be getting sort of probably flexed and manhandled by a strong side, they're concerned about him. So for a 19-year-old that's playing on the edge, and I asked the players to play on the edge, he was right on it. So I think he had nearly close to 30 possessions, 450 metres gained, top clearance winner. Pretty good game.
Every time he gets tackled, he gets extras on top of that.
Yeah, well, mate, come and tackle him. He's pretty strong for a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Takes 2 or 3 of them. Good on him for coming at him, because he's not taking a backward step. And we don't want him to take a backward step. He learned that, and I thought I was really proud of him tonight. To what he did in his game was just play the game. Didn't get caught up in all the external noise and what was going on in the game. He just kept playing hard football, and really proud of his effort tonight.
He also gave away that one free kick off the ball that cost a goal. How do you ensure that those sort of things don't happen, but you retain the rest?
We learn from it. We can go through many moments in the game. One goal, didn't lose us a game. As I just said, we want our players to play on the edge.
Jarrad, was Zane True given a job early on. Was his task on Caleb? Was that?
Yeah, that didn't last too long, did it? Which is unfortunate for Zane. You know, he's had a few weeks playing, and really was looking forward to the opportunity. He was one that wouldn't have taken a backward step too. Look, it's unfortunate for him I think the first centre bounce. So it was a shame because we were really looking and excited to see what he could do. He's really crafty. He's got good quick feet and nothing better than playing against the good players. So unfortunate.
Was that just a neck injury or concussion? Or
Led to believe, it's just whiplash, something along those lines. So that's why I think he's been sent off to hospital to check that. So not going to take any chances with that. But that's what I've been told. Yep.
How is he feeling post-match? He just can't seem to get a good run at it. He can't seem to sort of string those games together.
I think he's at hospital now, so I haven't been able to see him. But you could see him walking off, and even looking down on the camera down to the bench, how disappointed I was because he was really looking forward to the opportunity. But his health's more important now. We got to look after him, and obviously the medical staff will do that.
A couple of guys have been playing Waffle for a few weeks. What did you make of their attitudes and their performances tonight?
Yeah, I was proud of them. Actually, it was hard one today because I was watching the Waffle Eagles go to work and they were playing against my son. So at Subi, so it was an interesting one, but I actually really enjoyed how they went about it. Archer Reid went back and had a real presence in the air. Cohen Livingston, Clay Hall, Dom Sheed performed well. So it was a strong performance by those guys that went back and played, and that's a reflection on the connection, the unity of the group to get it done together, and that's how they performed on the training track. And we've got to continue to be consistent, not just AFL but also the Waffle Eagles, and they did a great job.
Given the intensity of this game and the 6-day turnaround, do you look like you have to make a few changes with some sore boys, especially towards the end of the year?
Yeah, well, once we get through all the medical screenings and check to see where our guys are at, we will make some smart decisions based around that. But I know the players, if they're all right, will recover well, will freshen up. They've played some good footy tonight, and obviously 2 weeks prior they're pretty competitive game against Brisbane. So we're at the back end of the season, so we'll look at that closely and pick accordingly.
Threw some guys around. Tom Cole was on the wing at one stage.
Yeah.
Hutchinson pushed up to the wing. Did you see any other moves that you sort of liked in the?
Yeah, we saw a lot of moves by the end because we obviously lost Zane. We lost a couple others throughout the game. Yeah, so there's a few sore boys, but the plan was to see Coley up the ground a little bit more. We continue to want to see Ruben Jimmy across half back. It's great to see him taking the game on, using his foot skills, and he's learning on the job, which is fantastic. So that was the plan. Put other players a little bit higher up. On the wings at one time, I think we had Hutchinson and Marrick, which for the first time this year they wouldn't have been out there. So it's exciting. And then we saw Petrocelli go inside. And then Jack Williams step up front when probably Oscar and JD and Jakey were a little bit quieter than their normal standards, but Jack Williams steps up and has a presence. So a lot of exciting things to take away.
And Edwards, he rolled his ankle.
Who's that? Sorry.
Edwards.
Yep.
He rolled his ankle. How's that pulled up?
I think he'd be right. Like I said, I haven't spoken to the medical staff exactly about him, but he went off obviously late.
Now, do you want to see Darling in defence just to see what I know you brought it up before the game, but is that a legitimate thing where you'd like to just see what he looks like?
Well, I would never throw a player a hand grenade and throw him into the fence unless you really had to. So if we're going to do that, I think we'd want to give him at least a training session to do it. So I don't know where that came from the other day, but it did. So caused a bit of a stir, but that's all right. But we nearly went to it in the game because we had a couple of sore boys, so we nearly had to look at it. So this game, you got to stay fluid, and we'll continue to grow as a team. But I think in the end, like the numbers might not say that, in terms of the marks and the goals and that. But once again, we wanted him to come in and compete, and he did that.
Let's just ask you one more about Harley because you did seem very proud of him. How much was he up against out there tonight?
Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, Fife, Darcy, Jackson. It's a deep midfield, but I think what we saw tonight also, like Tim Kelly in there, that's not taken away from there. Elliot Yeo, I think Elliot Yeo makes us all walk taller, even myself. And when he put his arm around Harley, it's like big brother looking after little brother, and that's why I thought Harley played the game the right way, played tough, didn't get distracted. Played on the edge, and he had his big brother looking after him. So as a midfield unit, there were some learnings. They probably had the better of us at the end of the day collectively, but a lot of positive signs, and as I said, proud of what Harley did.
How do you get Oscar more involved in the game? We see him, fill that gap down back, but he's just not really finding
Well, when he goes behind the ball, it's to try and us to rest momentum, and senior player, he's a captain, so we want him to try and rest momentum and give us some guidance down there. Sometimes it's delivery. Sometimes Oscar would be the first one to admit, he had his hands on it and just not as clean. And then what happens, you go searching for it a little bit more, and you just don't let the game come to you. And we, as players, they'll all find themselves throughout their careers in those moments. But we've also got to respect and understand, as good as Oscar is, I don't know how many games back now he is, but he's had a fair layout of football, and there comes a time, when it's not clicking, but the game can change that quick, and he has 6 days where it can just click. And because he's a pro, he'll work at his game, but we can help him. But Oscar will be the first one to say he can help himself too, and he will.